Hi everybody, it's Jill and Cara from Movement Duets.
So tonight we are going to be talking about how to really do a Kegel. So we're minding our P's and Kegels tonight, ladies. So you just had a baby, or maybe you even had a baby 20 years ago, and you've probably been told by your doctors, your girlfriends, every fashion magazine you pick up, that you should be doing your Kegels. But honestly, Kegels are not for everyone, at least not the way that we have been taught. Everyone can benefit from exercising their pelvic floor, but not everyone benefits from what we traditionally think of as Kegels.
So let's break this down. When you talk about the pelvic floor and doing Kegels, we first need to know what the pelvic floor is. And the best visualization, or vaginalization as I have coined that term, is to think of Borat. So I'm going to grab my phone so that you can see a picture of Borat.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. So in this picture, Borat is wearing a mankini. So you see he has the banana hammock on the bottom, and then he's got the straps up the top. That is the best visualization representation of your pelvic floor muscles that I've ever found. And plus, I mean, you just get to look at Borat, so I don't know how it can get better. And so we want to make sure that you understand that there's a component of not just the pelvic floor muscles, but how the system is used as a whole. And what we're missing in our traditional Kegels is we're missing the relaxation component, because typically when you think of the word Kegel, you think of tightening your pelvic floor muscles, but it's the relaxation that's the key.
Right, so let's talk about what the pelvic floor does. The pelvic floor helps maintain continence, fecal and urinary. It helps hold all of your organs inside your body. It allows for sexual function, thank you very much, and it helps support the spine. So when we have a pelvic floor dysfunction, what could happen is that you lose continence. So you pee when you cough, or when you sneeze, or maybe when you work out. You have painful sex. You could suffer from pelvic organ prolapse, where the organs actually fall down through the vagina, and you'll also suffer from low back pain.
So like I was talking about before with the Borat visualization, is that relaxation is the key. A lot of people know how to contract a muscle. Very few people know how to fully relax one, especially when it comes to the pelvic floor.
Right, and why is it so important? Relaxation is so important because of what happens in our daily lives causes the pelvic floor to always be contracted. So in our daily lives, we just sit too dang much. We sit when we are at work for maybe up to 8 hours. We sit when we're driving our car on our way to our workout, where maybe we pee while we're doing jumping jacks. We sit on the way home, and then at the end of the day, we unwind while sitting and watching television. And there's just not a lot of movement. And what happens is that when we don't often sit with the greatest posture, and so when our bum tucks under when we're sitting, it actually shortens the pelvic floor, because the sacrum will tuck under, the pelvic floor will become smaller, and then it'll become a lot more hypertonic.
So the thing about a contracted muscle is you can't fully contract a muscle that's already slightly contracted and short. So when we're sitting with our bum tucked under all day, it's hard to relax the pelvic floor fully. It's constantly tucked under from sitting and poor posture, and what the pelvic floor needs more than a contraction is the chance to lengthen and relax.
So what's a girl to do? The first thing that you can do is go see a pelvic floor physical therapist. I saw one after I had Oliver, and I was blown away by all the information that I got about exactly what was going on in my body. A pelvic floor physical therapist will teach you how to fully contract and relax the pelvic floor, and give you a lot of information about exactly what's going on, and more specific ideas of what to do with your pelvic floor. This internal exam is not something that we offer, so go seek a professional and have her do it. The second is to stop doing any exercises that cause leaking or pain. These are this is your body telling you that something is wrong. We might have been told by somebody, a lot of moms out there have a misconception that leaking is normal. It is common, but it is not normal. So if you're leaking, it is a sign that there's something going on with your pelvic floor and you can fix it.
The third thing you can do is to practice alignment. You can practice your alignment while you're standing throughout the day, but you could also practice your alignment in your seated positions, which a lot of us have with our jobs. And the last thing you can do is learn to connect your pelvic floor to your breath. And we're going to go over all of those things tonight so you know how to do them. And we're going to start with alignment. So we're going to get up and we're going to move this way. So Kara's going to show us how to work on our alignment when we're sitting. First of all, let's talk about what we're doing while we're sitting. I'm going to turn the camera on Kara. So when we're sitting, the tailbone kind of tucks under, the low back rounds out, the shoulders slump forward, and the head goes forward too. Also, a lot of times what happens is the wrists get into a hyperflex position. So what you can do to work on your alignment while you're sitting, first of all, is get your ribs over your hips. The first thing you'll see that happens when she gets her ribs over her hips is her tailbone untucks a little bit. Her shoulders are now not arched back, but pulled back, and now her head is in line with her spine. So that's how you can work on it when you're sitting. Let's talk about how to work on it when you're standing. So I'm going to have her stand up, and another note about the sitting thing. Go and sit down again. One more thing, I don't want to forget this. So when you're sitting and your posture is good, you'll be able to feel your sit bones underneath your hips. So grab your butt cheeks and make sure you can feel that. So now let's talk about standing. So she's going to push the bench away and she's going to stand up for us. So what you're going to see in posture, maybe this is just from the excessive sitting or it's from holding a baby or nursing, you'll see that the bum gets tucked under, the shoulders go forward, the head goes forward, kind of the same thing that you saw when she was sitting. And one of the first things you can do to fix that is to get your ribs over your hips. Now her bum is slightly untucked, her shoulders are relaxed, they're pulled back with an arched back, and her head is in line with the rest of her spine. And that's the way that you can work on alignment. So let's have Kara talk to us about the pelvic floor breath.
Yeah, so that's the way that we want you to be moving around throughout the day. So now we're going to talk about how we would like you to be breathing throughout the day. So I'm going to have Jill lie down on her back, and you can do this with us, or you can try it at home later. Let me get the angle of this. Okay, so here's Jill. So I'm going to have her just lay down and relax. She's going to place one hand on her rib cage and the other hand on her belly. As she inhales, she's going to let everything relax. She's going to feel her belly expand, her rib cage expand, and she's also going to feel her pelvic floor relax and expand down. As she exhales, she's going to contract the pelvic floor, the belly comes in, the rib cage dives down. On the inhale, she's going to relax and let everything expand. Now, if you cannot feel this relaxation, I suggest that you try it out while going to the bathroom on the toilet. While we're on the toilet, that is when our pelvic floor sort of has to relax. So if you're really struggling to feel the relaxation, besides seeing a pelvic floor physical therapist, that is the best way that I found to really get it. So she's going to inhale and relax. She's going to exhale, and we want to imagine that you're just picking up a blueberry with your vagina. And then on the inhale, she's just going to put it back down. She's going to exhale and contract, pick up that blueberry, and inhale and relax and put it back down. Now, we chose the blueberry because we wanted something that you really wouldn't want to squish, right? That'd be very unhygienic and possibly cause you a yeast infection or something, right? So we don't want you to contract as much as possible. We just want a little contraction and then a full relaxation. So get used to the feeling of this. And this might take a few times to really get the hang of it, but when you do, it's time to start incorporating it into the rest of the body. So I'm going to have her stand up, and we're going to do this in a squat. So she's standing here. She's going to inhale and relax her pelvic floor as she comes down into the squat. And she's going to exhale, contract the pelvic floor, and come up. She's going to inhale, come down, relax. At the bottom of the squat is where you can really feel a great relaxation in the pelvic floor. And she's going to exhale, contract the pelvic floor, and come up. So the pelvic floor should be working any time that your body moves. And when we have some kind of pelvic floor dysfunction, then it's just not doing that. So as the more you can start incorporating the core breath into all of your exercises, the more your pelvic floor is going to function the way that you want it to.
So we hope that this information has been really helpful for you. If it has been, give us a like, give it a share, make sure your mom friends know about it. If you're interested in getting to know more about us, if you're interested in working with us, you can email us at info@movementduets.com, or you can comment on this video. Another thing to be looking out for is our free 21-day Making Time for Mom challenge. We're really excited about this, and you're going to be seeing a lot of Facebook posts about it. So be on the lookout for Making Time for Mom, the 21-day challenge, and we're going to talk about all things pelvic floor, exercise, food, mindset, you name it, we're going to do it. So that's it for tonight. We hope this was good information for you. And if you have any questions, leave us a comment on the video, or again, you can email us at info@movementduets.com. Have a good night.
Bye.